You're good. All right, guys, it is Marci Lock, and it's time to lock it down. Sorry, we've had a few technical difficulties today, so we're starting late, but we got to call our amazing technical genius, Jeremy, so those of you guys who know Jeremy Finley, he's such a badass at all the fun stuff. He oversees all the TV. So thanks, Jer, for getting us set up. So today on the Marci Lock Show, I have the most amazing guest. She's actually doing the awesomeness of being goddess of she's literally known as like the goddess of hair extensions. She actually was the one who did my hair extensions as I've shifted to wanting to go back to long hair. Not to mention she's like the fashion queen and guru. So I'm excited to introduce her, but obviously those of you who haven't interacted with the Marci Lock Show or know what the Marci Lock Show is about, I'll give you a little feedback before we start our show today. So the Marci Lock Show is literally about just a life of awesomeness. That's, I mean, I'm like, what is it really about? It's about living in tune with your God or your goddess, who you're meant to be. So obviously I thrive off of loving to teach women how to break through all their shit and how to live in a rockin' body of health, have epic relationships, financial abundance, spiritually in tune, sharing your passion, your purpose. That's living in your goddess. And I believe men get to do the same as well. So it's really about, you know, how are you breaking through and living the life that you want to live. And so on this show, the whole point and purpose of me doing this show is for me to bring in these epic examples of either men that are living truthfully in who they are as the God that they're meant to be, and women who are showing up in their full goddess and rocking out life. And so the amazing goddess that I have on today with me is special to my heart because she's like a sister to me. She's a divine sister. Actually, she is the spouse, the wife of Garrett J. White, which a lot of people know as the master coach mentor that leads the Warrior program. So if you've interacted with Garrett, you know that Danielle has to bring her own game, because anybody who's interfaced with Garrett knows that he has fire energy and he's definitely intense. And I'm known as his twin. So Danielle, I know when we've hung out, right, she's like, this is too much. Marci and Garrett in the same room. A little too much Garrett, right? Both of you can handle her right now, darling. So Danielle is amazing. She's a phenomenal goddess, and she's actually got her kiddos hanging out today, too, so you can see that being a goddess, being a woman who stands in your power, not only do you get to rock out your passion and purpose, but for her, it's important, just like it is for me, to be able to still be a mom and still, you know, maximize that happening. So she's got her cute kiddos in the back doing some stuff today. So Danielle, I'm super glad that you made it work for me today to be a part of this on your day off at home with the kiddos and stuff. So obviously, love, I would love for you to start off with just sharing for the peeps at home, like, who you really are. Who is Danielle White?
So, well, who am I? I'm everything. I'm mom on the go. I'm entrepreneur. I'm a little bit of everything, and trying to create balance within my chaos. So I don't know. I have always been drawn to beauty and fashion, and I do hair. And just because that's something I've always just enjoyed doing, and I found that you can make a career out of doing something that you love, and you can learn and grow in a more creative outlet, I guess. I definitely am a more free thinker and creative personality. So I love what I do, and I do hair, and I have a hair education program, and I just am a mom and a wife and everything. So anyways, that's me in a nutshell. But
that's a good nutshell. I appreciate the nutshell. But what I really want to hear is, so all these women and especially all these people on, they kind of can foresee someone who's going, well, that's awesome, they've got it all together. You're living your passion, your purpose, and I want to get clear on this. You said, I do hair, I just do hair. Okay, you don't just do hair. That's very modest. Danielle has built herself literally an empire. So you guys know, an empire on hair extensions. You've traveled all over the world. You get paid to travel to Italy and everywhere and like do the most amazing hair extensions. And now you literally have people travel in from all over the world to follow you around for a day, to do internships with you, to learn how to rock this out. Not to mention you also have your site, which is dkwstyling.com. So you have a system you set up so that women who are hairstylists or in the beauty industry and want to, they can go through your training and system Not to mention you've built yourself around being a fashion guru. So you do regular blogs every day with like little fashion things, from shoes to purses to beautiful clothes and all these things. And you've set that up so that you're actually getting all this awesome stuff for free and getting paid and sharing the fashion industry. I mean, let's not validate what you like. You make it small what you do. You're amazing, and you built something huge. So
I definitely play.
From that, say that again.
I said I definitely play it more on the modest side. I'm like, oh, it's just this, and then people stalk me, is what I like to say, and then they're like, ah, like in their eyes, I'm like their movie star hairstylist. But
It's true.
I'm like pretty chill, and I'm like I'm proud of what I've built, but at the same time, you step back and look at everything, you're like, that's really cool. Like, but I mean, right now, I'd probably say I have like 3 clients each week that fly in from all over. I have even clients from like Canada that come in, and I treat them just like everybody else. I'm like, but then people in my salon are like, she just come from Canada? I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool, huh? Is that? And they're like, I forget, that's cool, you know? So I don't know. I think it's a lot of work, and I definitely am proud of myself, but I'm like an easygoing, like humble type person that I'm like, whatever, it's fun, it's hair. So.
But that's what's so cool. You're just sharing your gift and your passion, your purpose, and you've built something amazing that flows for you as being a mom, stepping fully into like sharing your passion, purpose. You don't need, it's like you set up yourself up for freedom. You create a massive income for yourself. You get to create the life of time and abundance that you want with your kids and in flow with that. But, I mean, I know one of the girls that's done my Mind Body program, she's like, oh, my gosh, you're going to go see Danielle White. Oh, my gosh. Like, because she's in the beauty industry. So you're like her hero. So I totally, that's awesome. But what's great is you are so humble about it, just because you're simply saying, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I love doing this, and this is what I do. So Danielle, before all this, though, and seeing the amazingness that you built, I would love you to share, like, how did you, because what I want people to hear is how you got to that place. They can just look at you and say, you built something awesome, you got it all together. How did you get where you are now? Like, where did you really come from? What were you experiencing before? I know a lot of people have heard Garrett's story, and where you guys had like massive, it was like gonna be done, and you both had to up-level your lives. There's a huge journey you went through personally to up-level your life, right? To get
yeah, I mean, yeah, but I'm like the type of personality, and I don't know what type of personality that is. It's like, if I'm gonna do something, like I want to be really good at it. Like, I'm not okay to just be in the 9-to-5er. And I think that that's like a personality thing. Like, I just did a marketing and training class for my salon this last week, and it, like, my mind, when I think about how much I put together just in the last like 3 years, and somebody is like, how do I get started? What do I do? I'm like, my brain like is like, oh my gosh, like, it's a mindset. Like, you have to be committed every day. And I think people from an outside perspective are like, oh, this is so awesome and this is so cool. And I'm like, it's awesome and it's cool and I love it, but I'm passionate about it, and you definitely have to be willing to put in the work. And so my story behind that is, you know, definitely Garrett helped to open my eyes to what's possible as just being a hairdresser, I guess. You know, he, about probably 4 years ago, he's like, you need to brand yourself. And I'm like, okay, cool. He's like, you need a logo, like, you need all this stuff. And I'm like, I think I'm good at doing hair, and I specialize in extension, and it's great money, but I didn't see above that. You know, I was kind of what I would consider just like a hobby hairstylist, but I thought I was really good. Like, I was like, oh, I'm a good stylist. I'm proud of my work. But I didn't see beyond that. And so he, about 3-4 years ago, he got me inspired to start my blog. And it inspired me to come up with a name for my extensions. And really inspired me to research. And what I found is, I used to never be on social media until, because I'm kind of a private person, to be honest. Like, I don't really like drama. I just am like, whatever. Like, I'm cool just doing my own thing. And he kind of helped me to get into social media, and I started to see all these other possibilities. And now it's like my brain, I can't like turn it off. And so people are like, how do you keep like, you just go, like, how to, like, and they're asking me, like, I don't even know what to do. I'm like, just be willing to put yourself out there and choose it. And then when you do, you're, like, freaking obsessed, and you're like, I can't turn my brain off. And it's like you wake up in the morning and I'm like, I just got to email and I just got to like edit some photos, and I'm like, but you have to find balance too, because then I'm like, I got to be with my kids and everything. So that's kind of like how I got started, is just kind of starting a blog and the willingness to learn and put myself out there. And I'm still learning, but it's so cool to look back and see the growth in like, now it's like the growth is happening like so quickly. Like I look back 6 months and I'm like, wow, so much like has improved just in 6 months, you know? So then it gets exciting because to see what happens 6 months down the road, and I feel like you start to pick up momentum. So it's cool. But.
Yeah, huge. So obviously, darling, there was this experience for you though to go into this space. You had to all of a sudden like be okay with putting yourself out there. What I would love to hear and for you to share with people is to get really real with where were you at in this space where all of a sudden you felt like your marriage could end, you weren't making money, or maybe you were doing a little bit of hair on the side. I don't 100% even know your whole story. I know Garrett's really well, obviously, being around him so much. But what happened for you that you felt that I want to do this more? Like, because I know you were focused on your kids more.
I didn't want to do it more.
Say that again?
So I didn't want to do it more. Like, I was like, whatever. Like, I'm cool just to do my thing. But I don't know. Like, I kind of was at this place where I felt like Garrett wasn't, if I'm being super honest, I felt like my husband wasn't producing. And I'm like, I'm done blaming him. Like, if I think I'm the smart, cute, creative person I am, like, freaking, like, I'll just make it work. I will step in, I'll help contribute, like, whatever I need to do. Instead of being mad that, like, he's not, like, producing more, like, I'm just going to, like, worry about myself and try and build my own thing. And through that, there was this element of, like, surrender, where I just had to say, okay, Garrett, help me with what you know. So, for me, I feel like Garrett's side of the story would definitely be more dramatic than mine, because that's just his personality type. Like, I never felt like things were like crashing down that hard, but they weren't great either. And so for me, I just kind of was like, you know, I think I can contribute, and I think I can, you know, I think I could make money. Like, I looked at myself in that certain type of personality where I'm like, if I just even put in a little bit of effort, I think I could make good money. Because before I was just kind of floating and being a hobby hairstylist and just making enough to like buy cute outfits and stuff, and I just was like, you know, I think I can make good money. And one more thing I always that bugged me is I always felt like as a hairdressers are considered to kind of be dummies. Like, and I was like, no, I know I'm smart and I'm gonna prove it. And so there was a little bit of drive behind that, and I just felt like I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure out what I need to do, and I just started researching and following tons of other top blogs, and I'm still researching and trying to figure out how to improve things. But I guess for me, it was just kind of like, my story was just like, I felt like I wanted to contribute, and I feel like with my relationship with Garrett, it kind of got us on the same page with I could all of a sudden relate to him as an entrepreneur, like the stress and the management that he was going through, like I could relate to probably on like a smaller scale. And then at that point we reconnected, because I was like, wow, I get how you're feeling. And in relationships in general, I think that you can't experience how somebody else is feeling until you are willing to surrender and kind of get on, and then like get on the same playing field, if that makes sense. And
yes.
For us, it was...
You actually tapped onto something.
What's that?
Finish that. Go ahead, babes.
I don't remember what I was going to say now.
What I love, I think you tapped onto, which is huge for most women, is you kind of were in this perceptional space of, like, I've got kids to take care of, I've got things to do. You said, I didn't really want to do more. But yeah, you felt some sort of something going, I'm in fear to a degree that, you know, my husband's not producing, I don't feel safe and secure. How do I step up and start to contribute? So all of a sudden comes from you, like, okay, what can I do? And most women are just like, they don't really consider what they can do, because they think we just kind of settle in a way for what we think we're supposed to do, which is be a mom and focus there. So all of a sudden you step up and you say, what can I do? How can I contribute? And something happened in you that you're like, whoa, I actually have gifts and talents and abilities to share, and it kind of lit a fire of passion in you, because now you're talking about how you can't turn your brain off with it. You love growing, you love sharing, you love building it, and you've seen like all these possibilities. So what happened in that space for you where you felt like you started doing it and then all of a sudden you connected with Garrett again because you were a creator? That's what I want to tap on. You became a creator. You like were using your talents. So you and Garrett stepped into a space of co-creation, right? Mm-hmm. Like you were fully living your passion and purpose, sharing your gifts. He's living his. You come together in the family creation. So what was that shift for you of what lit you on fire to make you go, oh, I went from I didn't really want to do something, I kind of felt like I had to contribute to, whoa, I'm on fire with it now. Like what keeps you driving now that it's shifted for you? Can you kind of explain that?
Money. No, I just felt like I think that anybody, when you're good at something, it's like rewarding to yourself. And then at the same point, when I created my education program, I felt like this is really cool. Like I'm giving girls a direct skill based on my experience, where if they choose to, they can turn around and make profit. I'm like, that's killer. Like there's not very many like education programs you can get out there where you're giving them a direct skill that if they use it, they'll make money, guaranteed. And I'm like, that's so cool. Like it's not like I just am like sharing a color technique that's gonna like go out of style. Like, so I don't know, like there was like this sense of pride in the fact that I was like, I could look back and be like, oh, I'm really good, and I created something that now helps others. And it's like giving back and making money, and I think that that's kind of how life should be. Like you have to take and give in order to grow, and you can't just give, you have to take a little bit because it creates balance. So I don't remember what you just asked me. Did I answer the question?
No, that's good. I'm just wondering, like, what lit you on fire to? And you just said it. You said all of a sudden you went from like, okay, I've got to contribute, I have to do this, to you stepped into actually sharing who you are, and all of a sudden you were passionate about it. You're like, wow, I'm making a big difference. And the other thing you just tapped on is literally money is just the expression of you creating value in the world. Like I always say, if you're not making enough money, it's because you haven't solved enough people's problems. So all of a sudden you found that you were solving a lot of probably hairstylists or girls' problems of like how to actually create an income for themselves and do what they love. And that sounds like what lit you on fire to keep going. And you're receiving the money. What I would love to ask you is, now when you created this and you created this huge income starting to really build, because you build an empire around it, what did that do for you personally as a female that to like you be able to make your own income and be producing and having that abundance, receiving that for what you do? What did that do for you?
What I guess it made me feel confident. Like I think a lot of situations in life and marriage, women are like, oh, I rely on this spouse, or I rely on so many other things, and you have to be okay with yourself and know that if you didn't have a husband or if you didn't have these other things, that you could provide for just you or just you and your babies, and you could make it work. Hey. So I don't know, it kind of, I don't know, it just made me more confident and comfortable, I guess, and I lost that space of like, oh no, what am I going to do? Like if things are crappy, I'm like, if things go south again, I know that I have created a solution for myself. I'm not waiting on somebody else to create a solution for me. Like, I'll always be good. You know, I'll figure it out. So, I think
that's super empowering.
Yeah, I think,
super empowering.
Sorry, my little girl's in the background counting.
I know, that's awesome. They're having fun. So, because I've heard, I know I've asked Garrett, talked to Garrett about it, and I think we even talked about it on one of my Warrior Woman radio shows with him, where we talked about when you went into that space of making money, and you were secure on your own. Because what that really does is, for a female, a lot of times I find women are stuck in the space of like, they need their man to validate them, to make them feel important and loved, and they need them to feel supported and secure because they're bringing in the money. And so for men, also I've seen this space where to them there's this form of control, and that they feel safe and secure because they need them because they're bringing in the money. And so in co-creation, what I truly believe is like women get to show up fully for themselves and men get to show up fully for themselves. And Garrett told me that when you got into that space where you were creating your own abundance and you had your own security, it scared the shit out of him because he's like, oh fuck, she could, you know, she doesn't need me anymore. But that up-leveled you both to be, like, you were in it for the creation of the relationship you wanted. Do you, what do you feel like, other than you felt secure and empowered, what do you feel like that did for your relationship, for you to be standing on your own in that space and him to be standing in on that as well, that not be a need basis anymore?
Yeah, I think it was good, but I have to, if I'm being 100% honest, I have to be careful because Garrett is our main provider and he pays the bills, and so even though I feel like we're equals, like I still want him to play the male role and me to play the female role. Mm-hmm. So he pays yes. the bills, and I am still the mom most days, you know, and so I think we're definitely in a partnership of like creating balance, but I just don't, I still want to be a mom, and I don't know, that's like a hard question. I feel like, sometimes I feel like Garrett, it scares him a little bit, but he like loves it. It's like a turn on and like kind of scary. I don't know, for guys, like, I think they want a powerful woman and then they get it and they're like, shit. They like it, but I think in a way they're like a little bit threatened. I don't know. I don't know, it's hard. I think there's constantly trying to just create balance in our relationship with that. And in the end, I'm like, I still want to play the wife and he still wants to play the husband. And I have to, like, you know, I feel like we're kind of equals. Like, I have to, like, let him do his thing and I have to still do my thing. It's hard. I'm like, we're always trying to, like, create a balance, you know, if I'm being 100% honest.
No, and that's great. I love that, because something you actually said is you still want to play the female role and he still wants to play the male role. And of course, so for me, it resonates for me. It can be different for other women. They all have their own option or choices. I still, like, I want to feel like I'm an independent woman who I'm not lacking, or if I'm ever anything is lacking or limiting, I know I get to create it. So I get to create the finances, abundance, live my passion and purpose. But it doesn't mean I still don't want a man who wants to play the man role. Like, so I think it's this difference between you're like, I still want to be a mom. So you've created around for you being a mom, sharing your passion, purpose, making money. Not that you need Garrett, but that you still want to play that female role and he still wants to play the male role. I'm not saying that there has to be this space of like, oh, let's get rid of all traditional roles or all roles of what's ingrained in us, because you're a female. You want to be taken care of. You want that man to show up the way that he does, and you want Garrett to be the man. But you also, what I'm asking.
It's like when you
say that again.
I was gonna say it's hard when you're a woman and you start making good money. You're kind of like, yeah, I'm making good money, and so you're like, but at the same time, like, I'm expected to be the wife and mom, and he's expected to be the husband and dad and to our kids, and so it's hard to. I don't know. I would love to hear, like, feedback and, like, just trying to, like, I guess just create that balance, you know?
Well, and I think a big shift for you guys is in creating that balance. He had to shift his perception as his role, too. If you're going to be outside of the home 3 days a week doing clients, he got to step into the home more, too. So that's where I believe, like, there comes a space of co-creation. It doesn't mean that, like, oh, I'm going to go share my passion, purpose, and I'm going to be out of the home and I'm not going to take care of the kids. Like, that's a choice for everybody, what resonates for them. But I think for you guys, a huge shift was it date night? And was it you saying, okay, how do we make sure we're balanced? You mentioned it several times. It's constantly like a balancing game between you're sharing your passion, you're still being a mom, he's still being a husband and playing that role, and he's doing his passion, and yet you're both kind of collaborating on the flow of your personal life, of what you want for each other. So, like, was that, where do you feel like that got balanced for you guys? Went from chaos, help me see the difference between where you were in chaos to what were things you implemented.
In chaos, but it's like,
we're still in chaos. Well, darling, you live with Garrett.
Yeah, exactly. It's always in chaos. It's entertaining chaos. It's like a train wreck that you can't look away. I don't know. It's just like every day taking time to be with one another, doing date nights, taking turns with the kids. But then at the same time, like, I don't know. I feel like because Garrett's the main provider, I have to step in more with the kids. And, like, I am responsible for finding sitters, and I am responsible for this. And then I get mad because I'm like, I'm working too. So it's just, I think that it's just a partnership and teamwork, but also like making sure you take time with your spouse and making sure you're with them and just taking it one day at a time and eliminating chaos if you don't need it or if you can. But when you put two strong personalities that are both entrepreneurs, it's a little bit of a zoo. And then you throw a dog, 2 kids, and 2 guinea pigs in the mix. It's a little bit of a zoo, but it's fun. We love it, and we feel like we're living life and things are good, you know. But there's no magic formula. It's just, for us, it's like one day at a time and constantly, you know, trying, and there's always like ups and downs with everything. So I don't know. I just keep trying every single day, I guess.
So in that, first off, how are the guinea pigs? Did the guinea pigs get replaced, or they?
Yes, the guinea pigs. We got 2 new ones, and they're so cute. But like my little girls are like hanging them, like, come on guys, and like I'm like, ah, it's like giving me anxiety. The dog keeps trying to eat the guinea pigs.
Yeah, heard about that. That's fun stuff. So. Well, so what I want to know from you, Danielle, is in building this enterprise and finding more of a passion and purpose, and you're saying, like, there's no magic formula, it's a just daily thing that you guys go through. What do you feel like would be the thing that you would share for women who are maybe in that space you were before, where they don't really recognize themselves as having much as a gift? You kind of said, well, yeah, I do hair, I'm kind of a hairstyle hobbyist, but I don't see more.
Yeah.
If you were talking to them and seeing where they were at, what would you tell them, because was that transition for you to be able to do that?
Everybody has an interest or a hobby, and their interest in their hobby is obviously something that they have a knack for, otherwise they wouldn't be interested in it. Therefore, they're using their gifts and talents. So I think, like, I have people come sit in my chair all the time, and because I can't turn my brain off now, I'm like, what do you do for a living? Like, what do you do? And like, I'm like, what are your hobbies? Like, what's this and this? And then I'm like, you know what you should do? You should start a blog. Or I'm like, what's your Instagram name? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, my brain's automatically like doing that, and I find that it's just like somebody giving you permission, you know. Somebody Garrett kind of helped give me permission and open my eyes to see a bigger picture, and I all of a sudden was like, wow. And so whenever I have somebody like I said, sit in my chair, and they're like, I don't have any skills or whatever, and I'm like, I don't believe that. I'm like, for the last year, I've been trying to get into photography, and I've like been teaching myself how to use Photoshop. I've like self-taught myself how to blog. I'm now trying to like figure out how to edit videos, and everything I learned is through Google and YouTube. The most important thing in this life is developing skill sets, and now you don't have to go to school to develop skill sets. You just have to be willing to learn and put in the time. And so it was so funny when I started getting into my business, and I'd always go down and ask Garrett, because he works out of our home. I'd be like, what do I do this? How do I do this? And he finally had to be like, babe, I can't help you. You have to be self-reliant. Like, Google it. And so, yeah, Mom, crying. No, come here. Sorry, kid hazards. Come here, baby.
That's how it flows.
Let me check on her. Give me a sec.
You're good. You're good. So I'll just kind of share some of my thoughts about this. Is being Danielle talked about permission, and I think a lot of times we expect or wait for someone to give us permission. For women, we think, well, my role is to be a mom, to be doing this. Is it okay for me to share my passion purpose? Is it okay for me to take time to work out for myself? Is it okay for me to want to explore, to learn different things? And we kind of shut ourselves down into this mentality of, this is what it's supposed to look like to be accepted by everyone else around us. So I love that Danielle tapped on permission and saying, you know, it must have been a conversation where she almost had permission, she felt like, from Garrett. But I'd ask most of you to ask yourself, like, why do I not give myself permission? Because when you give yourself permission, so Danielle, like, you getting that permission to kind of move into the space, almost, do you think now you feel like a much more happier mom, a more fulfilled mom? Like, I'm sure there comes with it chaos, and I love that you're like, I mean, I believe in complete authenticity and honesty, and you're like, well, to be honest, there's still this struggle every day. There's still this you know, constant balance flow, because life is about growth and expansion. But it's like, for you to be comparing yourself from before, where you felt like your role was just a mom, to now where you're like your brain's on fire, you improve other women's lives, you give them direction, you help them make an income, you share your passion and purpose every day. Your brain's on fire to like you see people for the greatness of what they can do. What do you think? What is the difference in you as a mother, as a wife, and your life experience now, where you feel fulfilled? So there's more of you to give than before, where you just kind of felt like your perception of what you had to do was limited.
Well, I didn't know how to give back because my brain wasn't like activated in the way it is now, and I never really liked school, to be honest with you. I'm sure I have ADD and I have a hard time paying attention, and so I always felt like learning was really hard for me. And so then it was when I like started to activate my brain, I like realized I just needed to develop all these like skill sets, and like I was talking about now, I like see all these gifts and people are like, you should do this and this, and
I see Paladin Plus.
can you say hi to everybody? There's lots of people on
Hi,
here.
baby. How you doing, darling?
Show the kitties. Say hi.
Oh, they're super cute.
Aww.
Glad you got new ones. What are your names?
No,
15.
15.
Sorry, kid hazards again.
Mama, please.
All good. This is how it rolls living in your goddess. You get kids to flow with too.
I know, it's my day off, so I'm like, kid duty today.
No, that's good. I love it. I'm glad you're sharing with us, even with kiddos around. It's just the flow of being a goddess and still being a mom. It's perfect.
But yeah, I think that, I don't know, whatever your passion is, like there's one thing I want to just share with everybody really quick is it's really cool to be able to build a following for yourself. And I believe if you build a following, you have so many other opportunities open up for yourself. And so people that are girls or whatever that come sit in my chair and they're like, oh, I don't know what to do, and what, like, I had one girl come sit down with me and she's like, you know, I love like traveling and planning things, and you know, I love like taking pictures and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, then start a blog, and who cares if nobody goes to it? Maybe eventually you could start like a concierge service where you plan like trips for people. And I'm like, you never know where things are going to take you based on the fact that you're willing to put yourself out there and you've developed a skill set of like to research and plan things. Like, who knew that could pay? You know, so it's like there's with entrepreneurs, it's like they make up something in which they can charge for by sharing their gifts and talents. So there's no excuse. Like, if you're feeling like you're in like a slump, or like and you have the desire to grow or do something else, then whatever you like, start sharing it, and people will then turn to you as the expert and eventually pay you for whatever it is you love to do. And it could be starting out with just like a simple, I like to plan trips for people. Cool, take photos and then charge for it. Like, I don't know. So that's kind of what like my perspective has changed with that it's, you don't necessarily have to have a degree, or you just have to be passionate about it and be willing to learn, grow, and work. So anyway.
That's awesome. And real quick before we move on, I want to actually make sure, I mean, because we started off a little late today with technical issues, so I don't even know that I gave all the info at the beginning, but I want to make sure everyone knows how they can follow you. If you see Danielle, she's on Instagram, she has a blog. It's like she has the cutest fashion pics all the time, which I swear I learned my fashion from, I don't know. I don't know that you want to claim that, Danielle, that I learned my fashion from you. I'm just like, oh, that's super cute. I should dress like Danielle. But so she's got all of her stuff at dkwstyling.com. On top of her blog, which is there, she also has her whole training system. So if you are a hairstylist or in the beauty industry and you're wanting to learn these certain skill sets she teaches of how you can actually rock out your business, then she's got access to that as well. Also, if you're obviously want to get my video series that you can break through the lies to be liberated, set yourself free with through the blocks to have the body and life you want, that's at mindbody90.com, where you can apply for the Mind Body Breakthrough or the Goddess Revolution Experience. So, and you can download the app, the Marci Lock app, for free on iTunes or marcilockapp.com to get all of the TV shows and radio shows, all the awesome free workouts, recipes, etc. So, I want to make sure you guys are able to get in touch with Danielle, follow her blog, her awesome fashion stuff. You can see all the amazing pictures she did with hair. You can see the transformation. I'm sure you've got that on your blog too, of the transformation you did for me, Danielle, wanting to grow out my hair again. It was like, Why go through this for 9 months? I can just go to Danielle, and she makes it look amazing. So jumping back in, Danielle, I love that you shared the shift of perception is that you see everyone has abilities. Most of the time, people just aren't aware of their abilities and what they love, and that it's limitless possibilities to make money from doing that. What do you think were your biggest blocks or your biggest barriers that you broke through to allow you to do what you do today?
I literally couldn't see it. There's stuff right now that I want to do with my education, and I like see long term where I want to take it, and I'm like talking to Garrett, and I'm like, I literally like see where I want to be, but I can't wrap my brain around how to get there. And it becomes overwhelming where we want to just do nothing. And so I joke around with some of the girls at my salon even, and they're like, so what do? I'm doing all these things you told me to do, and I'm like, oh, so you've been doing everything I told you to do for 2 days and you're not, like, slammed? Like, really? Like, I think that you have to, it's just hard. Like, I feel like you have to, I don't remember what you asked me. I see my ADD kicks in and I get distracted. Are you there? Oh.
But I think that's perfect, because what that reminds me of is when I think about, so I tell myself I'm more technical every day, but even you said you're doing video, you're editing, you're doing photography now. Like, I mean, you were the one who was telling me when I was there in February, you were like, Mars, I literally learned to do video myself, and I couldn't even fathom that. I was like, how the hell do you do video editing? That was just beyond me. Everything technical kind of seemed like beyond me. I do the excuse and the validation of like, hey guys, yeah, I lift weights for a living. That's part of what I do. But what I found even from your inspiration was, you just say, okay, this is the next thing I'm going to look at, this one thing, and how do I start to play with it and practice and get better and better and better till you have it down. And so since I saw you, even in February, it's like now I use the iMovie app, do a lot of my own editing stuff, like have learned to use several different technical apps that I never used before. Now we're freaking doing the TV show and all this other stuff. But I think you have to drop it back to just take it one step at a time. And you call it your ADD, but honestly, I think that the inch-by-inch life is a cinch. Would you say that that was what assisted you in just moving forward when you had to take on learning all these things? You just said, I get to learn to do this. How do I do it?
I think what happens is I get like pissed at myself that I am not better faster. Like, that's just my personality. And so even with my YouTube videos, like I kind of stopped doing them the last month because I felt like I was seeing like things level out and I wanted to grow. So I'm like, I refuse to do another video until I'm willing to put in the time to figure out what camera I need, to figure out how to learn, to figure out how to do it. And that was like 3 months ago, and I finally got the camera this week, and I'm like, I'm doing a video today. So I think that what happens for me with technology stuff is we all say we want to be here, and our mind like thinks it's like this big deal, and it's not. It's just like, okay, I'll do a little bit today, I'll do a little bit tomorrow, I'll do a little bit, and I'll just figure it out. And then, like I said, you look over, like, as long as you're willing to do a little bit each day, you look over like the 6-month period of time, and you're like, wow, I did it. I went from where I wanted to be. I'm like a little bit closer, and the picture starts to get more clear. Where it was like so overwhelming that we couldn't comprehend how to get there, it's like slowly being revealed to us through just learning and be willing to do the work. And I think doing the work can be overwhelming, but it's really not. And so when I say I get pissed at myself, because through my learning experience, I realize it's not that hard. Like, anybody can do it. So you just have to be willing to make the time to make that choice and do it. And the other thing too that I want to share really, really fast, it's kind of related, is people will, like with Instagram or something, that, they're like, gosh, I worked really hard on that picture, I worked really hard on that post, and it got 7 likes. Like, I remember when I created my first YouTube video, and I was so stressed about it, and I was like a newscaster, and I was like, welcome to DKW Styling. And it was like the worst video ever, and I was like, I don't want to put it out there, it's so bad. And then I was like, it's like, just do it, just put it out there. So I put it out there, I'm like, and I got 7 views. Why don't I get like 1 million? Aren't you supposed to get 1 million views? Isn't that what YouTube is? You're supposed to get 1 million views? And he's all, no, 7's not bad. So what I realized, I was like, well, that sucks. So then I was like, it didn't matter that the content or whatever I was putting out there was kind of crappy in the beginning because you don't have a following. And so then I was like, cool. So I went back to the drawing board and I do my research and figure out how to edit and do all that and be willing to self-teach myself how to learn these skill sets and then keep playing around. And then it was like my videos slowly got a little bit better and I started playing around with video. And then I like kind of leveled out. And then I'm like, okay, well now I need to figure out a new skill set to take it even higher. I need new editing tools. I need a new camera. And so anyways, that's kind of when I tell people be willing to put yourself out there. Like don't like get mad at yourself if you get 7 views. Like don't just be like, oh well, throw in the towel. Like it's being consistent and be willing to consistently put yourself out there and fall on your face over and over and over until eventually you look back and you're like, oh, that's good, you know. So anyway,
you took it as feedback. Which, that's such a huge key right there. What you just shared is huge because, you know, yeah, if you do it a couple days in a row, well, yeah, it's not going to work. It's literally being consistent and it's feedback of like, what else do I get to do? And I know, like, Garrett was the one who told me, he's like, there's so many people you don't even know are watching you that just because you get a few likes, like there's 10,000 that don't even ever interact on Facebook or whatnot that are ever saying anything. So you can build a huge following of people or you don't even know who's watching. Have you really seen that then, that you don't really know who's watching you even if there's not a lot of comments or likes even on Facebook? Well, you do most of your stuff on Instagram.
That's how I feel about my blog because with social media I don't have time to go through comments and a lot of the comments on my blog are like spam. So I have no idea based on, I mean I can kind of look at analytics and see like how, like I can't really see direct how many people are hitting my page, or I don't know how to do that yet. And so I track my following based on YouTube, and that's why I really like Instagram. My Instagram has, I think, 12,000 followers, which is pretty good. And my YouTube channel, I think I only have like 5,000 or 6,000 followers on that, but then you can also track likes and that kind of thing. And so, I mean, you definitely feel, I don't know, like you definitely can feel eyes on you. That's all I can say. And it gets to the point where I have to like stop giving out my cell phone. But it's just like on a small scale of things. Yeah. On Facebook, I'm not super interactive on Facebook. I do have 2 Facebook pages. I have DKW Styling, or just my personal is Danielle White. But I always push people to DKW Styling. But I share my stuff from Instagram to Facebook, but I'm definitely more interactive on Instagram, I would say. So that's how I can, I don't know, that's how I track like followers. And I think, yeah, there's a lot of people who view your stuff and you don't really realize they are, but it's like once you pick up momentum, you get more likes and things like that. And people just, you know, people are kind of like, they're following you. And I myself, and I'm an observer for sure. Like, I don't like or comment on a lot of stuff. I don't know why. That's just, I'm just an observer. So yeah, you're right. There's like a small percentage of people who actually will comment on your stuff, and you just have to just keep pushing it out there.
So you've built, you do your videos and you have those through YouTube and then on your blog, and then you mostly do your pictures because Instagram doesn't really do video unless it's like 15 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So you do your pictures through Instagram, and that's how you really built your following. So what I would love also to know, like from the side of like, hey, I'm a female, I'm a mom, I still want to play this role. What were the things that you felt like you really had to let go of in how it looked for being a mom and stepping into this place where it grew more from you and you wanted to share it and you wanted to be like, okay, the balance for me is 3 days a week I'm at the salon, I get to share my passion, my purpose, but you're still obviously keeping your business running when you're at home and you're doing the mom stuff. What do you feel like you got to let go of or add to your life, however you want to put it, to get that flow of taking that on, being a mom and doing what you love? Oh, she's got questions.
Sorry, 10 more minutes.
What's up, baby?
2:15. Can you wait there, everybody?
Hi, darling. How you doing today?
Sorry, she's like dying to go play, and I told her 10 more minutes.
Oh, it's just because we totally were late today, Bailey. I'm so sorry. We had technical issues, but we're wrapping up. Your mom's sharing her genius.
I'm going now.
Sorry, Marci. What? I can't remember what you told me that last finish. You have to repeat it for me.
Just what did you have to break through as a mom to say that it was okay for you to do this? I know for me, personally, I had a lot of blocks saying, oh, a mom has to look this way. I mean, even things to like letting go of like saying I had to clean my house and have a house cleaner. What were the things that you let go of or added to your life to do that?
I honestly, are you giving me kisses? That's rude. I honestly have never been one to really like care what people think about me. Oh, careful, did you pause it? So as far as blocks, I don't know. I don't know what I would say I had to for a block. For me, it was just being
like if you thought you had to be a mom every day, and for you to say, okay, it's okay for me to go live my passion and purpose. What were the things that you said that you had to change your image of being a mom to do what you do?
I think for me, like
I'm going now.
No, you have to wait.
Yes, I am.
Hey, sorry. She's being a stinker today. I think that I don't know if any other mom is at home. Are you like laughing at my kids and you're kind of like, oh, I get why you work 3 days a week. Like I love my babies, but I have to have time for me too. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I can't do the whole mom thing. I mean, I can do the mom thing, but I like to do work too. I think that helps me too. I think like being a mom, love my babies, but I also love I love working. So it's just kind of creating a balance for both for me. It works for me.
I have my shoes on.
Sorry, Marci, I gotta go grab her. Let me give me like 2 minutes.
So, you're good. Go do that. So I actually want to share so for me personally, as a single mom and becoming a mom was like, okay, I get to create an income. I get to share what I do. I had to let go of a lot of blocks. For those women out there that either maybe you think like, you know, being a mom has to look a certain way, I got to create it gets to look like whatever serves me best. And what I think you discover, what Danielle discovered, is even like when you're fulfilled and you actually get that break from your kids so that you teach them that you get to live in your passion and purpose and go do something for you, just like it's important for them to know that it's okay for them to do the things that they're going to love and do. When we put ourselves last and when we just take care of kids, we actually are teaching them that they've got to do the same thing and self-sacrifice their life for the people in their life to be validated and loved and happy. And so for me, letting go that looking like being a mom had to look a certain way, had to be stay at home with my kids the whole time and you know, those things, when I shared my passion, my purpose, not only was I super fulfilled and like on fire and loving life and filled, but then I'd come home and I was on fire to be with my kids. And I'm, you know, now my kids get to see that like I travel all the time to share my passion, my purpose, do events and backpack through New Zealand to film traveling workouts and I get to take them sometimes with me and other times like we set up things for them to go learn new experiences and have more fun and get to be independent and grow as I'm out doing the things that I love. And I feel like that empowers them so much more to be to realize their value in this world, their experiences in this world is to grow, expand, create, love life, have an awesome, amazing, fantastical time, and that it's okay for them to love what they want to love and do what they want to do, and we all get to have that experience. So for me, that was huge, and I know those were some of the blocks for me, as even coming down to saying, like, I get to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, my time is valuable. Would I rather play with my kids, or even if my time is there to work on my business and share my passion and purpose, I can create way more money spending time there, or I can have way more effort and fun, you know, being with my kids than me cleaning my house. And the old limited mindset of Marci was like, oh, that must be really selfish. I mean, you got to be able to clean your own house. Like, why pay someone else to clean your house? And I mean, that for me is like, I love now coming home to clean house, having cleaners take care of it, and I get to share that value with them in the form of money to pay them for what they love to do and what they're doing for their choice and their experience. And then I take that time to be with my kids, and now having a nanny and that's at home to assist with laundry and you know, food prep, and always being there for my boys to support me in whatever I'm doing, and even to several assistants. Like, the more you grow in sharing your passion, purpose, and your goddess and who you desire to be, the more you realize life just gets to be happy, and life just gets to be peace and flow, and life just gets to be awesomeness all around you to have that support. So Danielle, now that you're back, I'll ask you, like, what did you feel like you tapped onto something, which is kind of what I just went on a little rant for as you were off doing your thing, is that when you allow yourself to get away from the kids, you actually tap into like being so fulfilled in what you share and you do that you get to come home and like you want to be with your kids and you want to have that experience. Did you have that perception before though? You actually let yourself out of the home and doing more of that, or was it like I gotta be mom?
A little bit, but I almost felt like I don't know, my kids are still pretty little. I feel like they're kind of at a harder, well, I don't know, I can't say they're at a harder age because I'm sure older's harder too, but yeah, definitely. Like now when I'm with my kids, like yesterday I worked all day and I came home, I'm like, yeah, I gotta do bedtime, whereas before I was like, you're on bedtime, I'm not doing bedtime. So yeah, it's different. Yeah. It's kind of like now, like when I have a day off, I'm usually like, let's go swimming, like what are we doing, like less multitasking. But the problem that I have found is I'm like, oh my gosh, my house is like a mess now because I'm working, and then when I'm home I want to be with my kids, and there's less like trying to multitask, and you can see multitask sort of works for me, except for my kids that are screaming in the background. So then I'm like, okay, now I gotta give myself permission to like hire a cleaner. I gotta give myself permission to hire a nanny to come in and help. I gotta give myself permission to hire a personal assistant so that I'm still a mom and I can still do my passion. And so yeah, it's just.
That's what I just went off on. I was like giving myself permission to have a house cleaner and a nanny and a personal assistant and all those things so that you can actually, but you created the opportunity for that by creating your abundance. You created, you share your passion and purpose, you grew, you shared it more, you create abundance, and then you go, wow, what is it actually costing me in my personal life to not get to just put my focus on my kids or my passion, my purpose. And if I am worthy of having the life that I want, why wouldn't I not make it more easy for me? So that's actually one aspect you get to create for yourself to be more in peace and flow, it sounds like.
It's so hard though, because I think as moms and women we're like embedded to have like that mommy guilt a little bit. And so that's when you're like, okay, I feel bad because when I'm home I'm trying to clean, and then when I'm working. And so that's when you kind of cave and you're like, I have to surrender to having help. Like it's not worth taking time away from my kids. I get to pay a cleaner. I get to pay this because it's not fair to you and it's not fair to your kids. And then when you are home with your kids, you're like Angry Bear. So instead of being Angry Bear, hire help so that you're not Angry Bear and that kind of thing. So.
You know what I call it, Danielle?
Huh?
I call it bitch mom.
Yeah, that's a good.
Bitch mom. Yeah.
I call it Angry Bear, you call it bitch mom.
Yeah, but I get it. But that's the thing. It's like, how do I create more peace and flow for my life? And part of this is digging into the deeper concept, which is, how do I have a life of having it all, where you're loving what you do, you get the time away from your kids, you get the time with your kids, you get the time with Garrett, you create date night, you have this like everyday balance you kind of get to create of living the life that you want. Do you feel like that's at least what you've shifted to in your perception, that I get to have this as my life? So you just said, I get to pay other people to do these things, my life gets to look like this. But before, the perception was, you nailed it when you said guilt mom. Like everyone, I think a lot of us grow up with that, is there's that guilt feeling instead of, I want this. So what would you say is your perception now about how life gets to look for you?
Hold on, I think something just fell upstairs. Hold on.
You're like, go check. It's all good. This is how it rolls. And actually, for those of you that are joining, I'm just going to throw out there then one more time how you can actually follow Danielle. Go to dkwstyle.com. Her blog seriously is awesome. I love seeing all her amazing fashion tips and all the things that she does with hair. And I know for even the people that I've interacted with that have done my program and have gone through Danielle's beauty stuff, that it's hugely transformational for them in their life. So make sure you go to dkwstyling.com. You can also go to mindbody90.com to get access to the video series. Apply at marcilockapp.com, because I know we're going to be wrapping up here. I'm just going to ask Danielle like one or two more questions to share her nuggets with us before she takes off for the day and actually gets to go play with her kids and do all that fun stuff. Also, though, for you guys, what I would love is if you guys are in hearing this perception of, you know, the stuff with being a mom, the stuff with sharing your passion, purpose, living your full goddess. It's totally what I love that Danielle's touched on so many times, is it's be willing. Be willing to allow yourself to accept it. So Danielle, what I would love for you to kind of, I know I want to wrap up so you can actually go play with your kiddos today. It's being your day off and go do that. Is just tell us, if someone's listening today and they're in that hole and they're trying to climb out, give the perception shift of what you believe your life experience gets to be now. Like being in the space where you're creating every day awesome relationships with your kids, with Garrett, with your business, with your passion, your purpose. And I mean, you guys went from where you're at in Utah and having different things happen to, then you're in Arizona and you've kind of gone down this journey. What would you say you tell people is possible and what you're experiencing now?
I guess, I don't know, everybody's situation is a little bit different, but I would say that create your own happiness and create your own story, and if you're not happy, that's your fault. I honestly, easier said than done, because even with, I'll just share a short example with being a hairstylist, and even, well, with all business and attracting like the client that you want. And this is kind of off topic but on topic, but like I'll get so mad at myself when I have somebody who's trying to like work a deal with me, and I'm like, I'm really good, but it's my fault because I let them in my world at a certain price point. And so I kind of, in creating your life or your picture, you have to surround yourself with like-minded people, and those people that aren't on the same page with you, don't be afraid to say goodbye, like see you later. I think that's part of learning and growing. And so, and just leveling up is surrounding yourself with like-minded people in order to create your situation or your story that you want to be in. And remember that you're not creating anybody else's story but your own. And when we're mad at someone else, it's usually because our own actions we need to be accountable for, in my experience. So anyways, create your own peaceful life and whatever it is. And if you're not happy in a certain area, even though I would say it looks scary, look at it and see what you could do to make the situation better for yourselves. I know that in Utah, I noticed I had like seasonal depression. I was like, I got to be somewhere where it's like sunny. I couldn't do the long winters. It really affected me. And so I just said to Garrett, I'm like, where's it sunny? And he's like, we ended up going to Phoenix, because I'm like, cool, I know it doesn't snow there. And then we got there, I'm like, it's way too freaking hot here. So then there was like this perception of California that was scary because it's expensive to live here. And it finally got to the point where I'm like, let's do it. Let's make the leap and let's do it. And that's where I have experienced a speed up in growth, because something that looked scary and we were willing to dive in and try it.
That's a huge golden nugget right there. Like, that was phenomenal information right there. So many things you just tapped on, which is you know, breaking through the fears to step forward. I'll be joining you next week so I get to come see you even for my hair. I'm in LA next week, and then I come see you, and then I'm moving out there to California. So I'm super, same thing. I was like, I'm done with the long winters in Utah. But Danielle, like those golden nuggets right there of just allowing yourself to move forward in your life and take responsibility for your happiness. I love that you said that, because so many women are stuck in the bullshit story that says someone else has to make me happy, make me feel important. So you just nailed it when you said, if you're not happy, look at yourself, look at your own actions, look at your own life, and take responsibility for it. So I think that's the best golden nugget you could have given anybody to finish our show off of today. And I just want to tell you how much I adore you, and I'm proud of you for all that you've built, and how you stand in your power. I know it's like total, just the personality that you have, that it's like you're meant to be with Garrett. The fact that you're like, it's a train wreck and it entertains me. Like, you love to be entertained, and Garrett is very entertaining that way. So I'd have to say that I got to be entertaining then too, if I'm known as Garrett's twin. So, but I know you can't handle the two of us in a room together. It's just too much. So at least when I'm there hanging with you, it'll be okay. So I'll see you soon in LA. Is there anything else that you, other than everybody go to dkwstyling.com, take advantage of that opportunity to check out all the fashion tips that Danielle does almost every single day. You can also, what's your Instagram? It's just DKW Styling for Instagram too, right?
DKW Styling. DKW is my initials, and then styling. So.
Got it. Perfect. So make sure you follow Danielle. She's awesome and amazing. If you're interested in like the beautiful goddess hair, then Danielle is the girl to go see for not only getting your hair done, but also learning the hair as well. Look at her sexiness. I told her she's got to teach me how to do it a little bit better, though. I'm trying to be the model of it.
The nice thing about hair extensions is you can just roll out of bed and brush them. I didn't really even do mine today, so I'm good.
So awesome. I totally thought that so my old identity, I had hair like this my whole life growing up. My whole life was known as like, my hair was part of that identity. And when I found out I had the cheating husband, got divorced, became a single mom, I chopped it all off to have and created the new identity of me, which was Marci Locke. And so wanting to go back into that, I was like, oh man, it's going to take me a long time. All these thoughts. It's so interesting how thoughts can be untrue until you actually question them. Just like I teach people with the body in their life. And so having that with you, Danielle, I was like, oh, this has been so easy. So hair extensions are awesome, and the long hair can be super awesome and easy if you go to someone like Danielle who makes it work for you. So anyways, thank you, darling, for taking the time today, even on your day off where you get to go play with kiddos and making it work. I so appreciate it, and your freaking awesomeness, and I will see you next week.
Yeah.
So thank you again. So everybody, again, dkwstyling.com, mindbody90.com, break through your barriers, and also you can download this app and you can be able to and actually Danielle is going to be, we're going to be implementing a beauty section on my app where Danielle is going to be able to share her fashion tips and all her awesomeness there as well. So, because she is the beauty goddess. So thank you, beauty goddess. Give Garrett a hug for me and the cute kids, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much for joining.
All right. Bye.
Bye, darling. Okay, you guys, enjoy the rest of your day and lock it down. Power of choice is yours. Choose your best life.